Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I'm excited to share with you an overview of the 1st Tank Division, a new Czechoslovakian division available in the SOUTHAG expansion. 8 of the divisions are released now, including this one, and available early if you own the expansion pass or gold edition. Let's jump on in. We'll go through all of the units and I'll put together a quick deck. So starting here with a supply truck, we have the 750 supply for 30 points, 8 on a card. It's pretty standard stuff, 90 km/h on road, 60 km/h off road. Yeah, it's okay. Then we have the T813, which has 2000 supply, really decent supply vehicle, 90 km/h on road, 65 km/h off road, 60 points, 3 on a card. Then we have the BMP-1 as a leader, so 70 points, you get 3 on a card, which is nice. I always like the leader cards when you get 3. Unfortunately for the BMP-2, you only get 2. So the BMP-2, whilst it does have the Conkers and the 30mm, which is nice for combat, generally you don't want your leaders in combat per se. You're either using them behind your fighting forces to provide the extra veterancy, or you're using them to capture sectors. There is a sort of exceptions to that, of course, when it comes to decent tanks, but yeah, in general, I would say for something like a BMP-2, it's not really worth it, especially since you only get 2 on a card. And it's the same with this, you only get 2 on a card. The VSOT 64 comes with the KBBT and the PKT. It's okay. 2 front armor's nice on these, but yeah. These would be nice if you could get 3 on a card. And then finally, the Feld Depot, or Field Depot, I don't know how I'm saying it in German. It's just the munition dump. Okay, moving on to the infantry tab, we have machine gun squad. So we've got a Czechoslovakian machine gun squad with the VZ59, which looks very interesting, but it's standard 30% accuracy, 1200 meter range. And we've got the TAI, which is a military police squad with some very nice helmets. They look kind of silly, but interesting guns. I got the Scorpion and the VZ58. The VZ58 is nice because it's better than an AK. It has higher damage, so that's good. They can be brought in with the UAZ, TAI, which is a military police vehicle as well, or even better, this UAZ 452, which is very cool. I like it a lot. Okay, moving on, we have security forces. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to pronounce a lot of these Czechoslovakian forces, but I will try my best to learn them over time. At the moment though, 10-man squad, Scorpions, 6 of the VZ58, can be brought in with the V3S or the OT62A. The OT62, it doesn't have like a crazy good machine gun or anything, so yeah, the best part about this is that it's armoured. It's not too fast though, 75 km/h on road, 55 km/h off road. It's okay. The squad themselves is not great, but you do get 12 on a card, so you might be able to like overwhelm enemy infantry with these. It's not like they're reservists or anything, so that's nice. They're actually just like standard security, so they have that security trait which increases their optics from normal to good when they're stationary. Right, then we got the leader of the Motorstraße. These guys have a Strela 2M. They don't have AT, unfortunately, but they do have a smoke grenade. So it's a 7-man squad with a smoke grenade. It's okay. They can come in the V3S, the BMP-1, or the BMP-2, which is nice. The BMP-2 is always a good transport. And same goes for the Motorstraße. These guys can come in with the BMP-1, so you get in the BMPs as your transports here, or the V3S. These guys, they have 5 VZs, 58s, plus the VZ59. The RPG-75 is okay, like 13 pen, 45% accuracy. The rate of fire is the main thing here, because even though this doesn't have much penetration, it's not going to do much damage. It's still going to be causing a lot of like cohesion loss to like tanks and stuff that get caught out by these. So that's the main thing that you want to do there. And then we have the Motorstraße with the RPG-7VM. So same weapons otherwise, you're just getting a little bit more penetration, but you're losing the rate of fire, you get a little bit of extra accuracy, and you get access to the BMP2, which is a big upgrade actually. So you're probably going to want to use these with the BMP2 over the standard one with the BMP1 for the most part. Then you've got the like Panzer squads. These guys, these Panzerovnici, double RPG-7VL, basically makes the RPG-7VL rate of fire double. So like it would be like having one with 20 round per minute rate of fire, which would be really nice. And so these are good for just like hitting tanks hard at close range, but getting them into range is the struggle. Because unless your opponent's like chucking armor through heavy cover, you're not really going to bump into them at close range very often. But in this case, BMP1, 25 points, BMP2, 65 points. There is one thing that I guess you can look out for here is that the price difference is quite dramatic, 25 points to 65 points. So maybe you just want to like spam super cheap BMPs. Then we have the Geniste. These guys, the leader is a 6-man squad with an RPG-7VM with shock trait. It's okay. Again, lacking smoke for me personally. Then we got the Genista, which are okay. 35 point squads. It's kind of like the theme of all of this infantry. It's all right. But honestly, an 8-man submachine gun squad with satchel, it does the job that it's supposed to, right? Which is nice. So you can't bring them in with the OT-62, which could be worth it since it has 2 front armor. Not sure. But you've also got the Genista with the flamethrower, and flamethrower has been slightly buffed. I think the aim time got reduced or something, so potentially a little bit more effective than they used to be. You'd probably just stick with the cheaper squads. And then you got the Fargo, which is interesting. Just 2,450 meters with 50% accuracy. You don't get conkers or anything. Yeah, that's the best you get. All right, moving on to the artillery. We've got 82mm mortars, which are cool. Then we got the Tulpan. It's joining us on the field in WARNO. 240mm mortar works currently like a howitzer. So instead of like firing it up into the air like a big, like the other 240mm mortars we already have, it kind of acts more like a 152mm artillery piece, or I guess more like 122 or whatever in terms of damage. Yeah, like the 122mm is like 2.28 damage. The Tulipan is like 2.64. It's okay. Its range is obviously limited. Its rate of fire is kind of low. It's not that good in WARNO. But yeah, certainly a fun new unit to have in the game. Then we have the SVO. Now this is basically a BMP with some like thermobaric launched rockets in it. Really short range, 1,750 meter range, but the thermobaric rounds are going to do a lot of damage against infantry. So if you need to clean out like a forested area or a town, you use this from behind cover and you just decimate them. 150 points each. Seems expensive, but I think this is going to do a lot of damage to infantry. It's not going to do much damage to tanks or anything, but yeah. Against infantry, it's certainly going to hurt. So, cool unit for sure. And it does like bring these up and racks them up, and then when they fire, there's no longer in there. It is a really cool unit to try out, so definitely give it a go. Then we got the RM51, 130mm rockets. Again, you got like 3 times 32. So it fires 32 rockets, then it reloads. It's actually a really useful unit for like closer range rocket support. You have access to the RM VZ70. This is like your standard, fires 40 120mm rockets and then reloads. A solid rocket launcher. And then we've got the Gvozdika, which is okay. I mean, it's nothing special really. And then the Dana, which is a pretty decent artillery unit. Nice and fast, decent rate of fire. Salvo length can get it called out, but because it does move quite quickly, it's able to get out of dodge and away from artillery generally before it lands, unless your opponent's like really on the money. So a really interesting artillery tab, and yeah, don't sleep on the SVO. I think also some of these rockets are going to be very, very useful. I mean, this has always been pretty good, but this is one that I think is going to be very handy as well because it's higher caliber missiles you got, or rockets. You got 130mm rockets, you get 1.3 damage instead of 1.22 damage, and that does make a reasonable difference. And moving on to the tank tab, it's all about the T-72s. So T-72M E2 is your first one for 155 points. They don't have like any smoke or anything. 19 pen, 15 front armor, 2,100 meter range, 55% accuracy. If we go to the E3, you get smoke, so you're paying like 15 points for smoke. I think I got confused between these and the T-72s in the 31st. But yeah, you're paying 15 points for smoke in this case. And then there's also the leader variant, which is basically the same as the E3, just with the leader trait. And there's also an E2 leader, which is a bit cheaper. And you've got the T-72S, and a lot of them, with the Zvir ATGM. So this is the main thing that makes the T-72S kind of scary, is it's 21 pen, 2,800 meter range ATGM, and it's 60% accurate. And in this case, you get 5 on a card, and you've got 3 cards available. So you can easily upbet these to get some extra accuracy on that ATGM. So that would be pretty nice to have a couple of these at least at 2 vet, I think. And maybe even 3 vet if you have a leader nearby. That's going to be really, really nuts. So yeah, scary T-72s for sure. And moving on to the recon, we've got the Divize. These are the 4-man recon teams. They've got the RPG-75, so only 13 pen, but it's okay to defend themselves against light targets. Will help kind of disable heavier targets from like lowering their cohesion. You can be bringing them in with the OT-65, which is nice because it does have good stealth, so it kind of acts as its own little recon vehicle. UAZ or MI2 are other options. And we've got an 8-man recon team with satchels, which I actually kind of like because they have shock trait for 50 points. This is not too bad, like 7 Scorpions plus a machine gun, and you got the satchel. Yeah, bring them in with the V3S OT-62s. These are going to really kind of bulk up your infantry a bit more, which is nice. And then we got some motorized. These guys have 2 machine guns, 5 assault rifles with the RPG-7VM. Nice thing about these ones is they can come with a recon BMP2. So another good combination actually in the recon tab. It's kind of nice. MI2, MI17s are also a choice, with the MI17 with rockets as well. And then there's the SHPZ, which is a special forces team, 6-man with shock trait as well. So special forces shock. I'm not sure like special forces shock is too useful for these because they've got like SVD and machine gun. I guess like at closer ranges they're still going to be like slapping pretty hard. Their AT weapon could be better. That's the other thing that's kind of rough about them. But otherwise, cool unit. UAZ MI2s are the transports. We got another rocket recon. This one's looking a bit more interesting. The TU-143. It's a rocket with a camera on it again. Gonna have a huge turn-in circle. Looks badass. Really does. We've got the Zvatava, which is basically kind of like a BRM-1K, except from it's got some extra bits and bobs on it by the looks of things. Exceptional optics is always really nice to have to accompany like your tanks. And then we finally got the RT SHPZ, which is similar to the SHPZ, but they have the GSR trait, which improves our optics. So they go from very good to exceptional optics, which is very nice to have on a recon infantry. So yeah, you probably wouldn't use these as like fighting forces generally, I don't think, but if they do happen to bump into an enemy infantry, they can defend themselves pretty well. And moving on to AA, we've got ourselves some Strela 2M squads, which are pretty trash because of the 35% accuracy and 4HE. You do have access to Igloos, so you might as well be using them with the 4HE, but extra accuracy and range. We do have 2 cards of the Yashturka. These guys, these are pretty good. Twin 30 mils for decent damage, decent range against helicopters, probably going to be pretty good at murdering infantry on the ground as well. Then you got the S10M, which is the Strelaton M, and you've got OSAs as well. So OSA 7HE, 3,875 meter range against aircraft with 55% accuracy, and then the Strelaton M is the anti-helo with infrared, basically. Then we got helicopters, so Mi-2 URP, which gets the 23 mil autocannon and the Maluka. I've got the Mi-17 with the 16 rocket pods on all of the pylons, and then you get the one that gets the 32 on each pylon, so way more rockets for an extra 10 points. Definitely worth bringing this one over the Rocket 2 if you're going to bring one. And then the Mi-24D, which gets the Falanga next to some S5M rockets. It's okay. It's not great, but it's alright. Okay, moving on to the air tab. MiG-23 BNs make up pretty much most of the air-to-ground attack. So this one, the rocket one, 135 points. You get 80 mil rockets plus two 240 mil rockets, so reasonable rocket loadout. Then you got the MiG-23 BN, which is pretty nice. You're going to have to dive at your target with this because it uses semi-active radar guidance. But for 135 points and you get 3 on a card is actually really solid. Then you got MiG-23 BN cluster, which gets 6 cluster. And you got the BN napalm with 4 napalm, and then the BN HE as well. All of these are decent loadouts other than maybe the napalm. And then you got a MiG-23, which actually gets 2 long-range missiles, 2 7,775 meter range missiles, and 2 R60s, or sorry, 4 R60s. So yeah, decent sort of short-range capability as well against helicopters. Yeah, not a bad air tab. MiG-23 BNs have always been pretty good. Let's put together a quick deck. So probably starting here, we're going to chuck in some BMPs, although it's probably more likely that I should be using the leaders from the tank tab. Maybe we don't do that. How are we looking for artillery? We definitely need a FOB in this one, for sure. So we'll probably go T813s. And yeah, we'll do 2 cards of T813s. Actually, let's do one, the smaller one. I like having one big, one small. Okay, moving on. Do I want military police here? I feel like to get the most out of your infantry, having like military police with the Genista could be a good idea. So yeah, let's grab that truck with those, and we'll definitely bring both cards of these. I don't know if the OT-62 is worth bringing. It is really cheap. We'll do both like this. And I'll bring in those LPO as well. Because I think the main way that this is going to play out is you're going to want to fight for sort of close range capability, like close range engagements. So you want to dominate sort of the infantry engagement by killing enemy infantry, so your T-72s can come through and ruin the rest. Kind of feels like what this is going for. But yeah, I don't know. I think I might do this separately. So we'll do Genista LPO, and then we'll do a couple cards of BMP2s with Monostrazi. Yeah, this infantry tab's a bit rough. Okay, artillery tab though. Get the SVO in there. We'll throw in some of those. I don't know if I want 2 sets of these or 2 of these. I might try 2 of these. Tulipans, unfortunately, I mean, I'll put them in because they're new, but I don't think they're as good at bringing something like a Dana. I'd rather bring Danas than the Tulipan. So this is where I need my leaders, so we'll probably just go bam, 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 get all those leaders in there. We definitely bring in like T-72s at high veterancy. I'd probably bring one in like 1 vet and 2 cards at 2 vet. And then I think having smoke's important, so we'll add those to that as well. Okay, recon tab. We have a lot to put in here. We'll definitely bring these with recon BMP2s. I'll bring these in as well. And then I definitely want the BRM equivalent. Do I want the TU-143 maybe? And we probably want these. Okay, AA. I'm thinking twin 30s, one card of Strellas, one card of Osas, maybe a card of Iglas. Helicopter. What's the go-to here? Probably the best choice. I think in 1v1 people are going to love the Mi2 because it's good value. And then for air, what do we need? Tempted to get the rockets out. I think MiG-23BNs definitely go in though. Cluster. Your worst nightmare is generally going to be enemy tanks. So you want to have planes that can deal with those, like big tanks. I don't know if I want this or this. Or maybe I just drop a rocket so that we can throw in another plane. None of these MiG-23s have infrared, which is a bit rough. But we do have these in abundance, so I don't think helicopters are really a problem. Don't have much to deal with enemy aircraft. I'm trying to think if there's another place I can drop some units, but not really. I mean, the logistics tab's really expensive, the infantry tab's really expensive, the artillery is okay. How many points would I need? 3? So yeah, I'd have to drop something. I mean, maybe I could drop an AA so that we at least have our MiG-23. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Because this is kind of important for those moments when you need to like catch out an enemy helicopter on the flanks or something and don't really have an AA unit nearby. And it can also engage enemy aircraft with the R23R. We'll try that. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. First, Czechoslovak. Okay, cool. An interesting division that's definitely going to be like punching with T-72s. You know, the T-72s are really going to carry this division big time. It's going to be like playing the East Germans. Just your infantry is like actually kind of bad. I don't know if I can really fit in the military police in this, but I think the military police are going to be important for getting value out of the T-72s and the close range infantry that you're getting from both the recon tab and the infantry tab. Yeah, cool to see the Czechoslovakians in the game anyway. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.